Hey, hello everybody. It's March 10th, 2025, the golden age. And today, stock market and all that stuff ain't looking so good, but we're going to see if we can call in and tackle one problem at a time here. We're going to see if we can get a hold of supervisor at the switchboard there, because
You've reached the United States Capitol switchboard. Please say the name of the senator or representative that you are trying to reach, or say I'm not sure.
supervisor.
Confirming that was Representative Chip Roy. Did I get that right?
No.
Sorry. Let's try one more time. Which are you trying to reach? You can say senator or representative.
Supervisor.
To reach your representative, tell me your 5-digit zip code. Tell me your 5-digit zip code. Using the keypad, enter your 5-digit zip code, or remain on the line for an operator.
Yeah, that's what we want. We want an operator.
I'm sorry I was unable to help you today. Please hold for a Capitol switchboard operator.
That's who we wanted anyway. See if we get anything done, right?
Good afternoon, Capitol operator.
Hi, young lady. How are you today?
I'm well, and you, sir?
Well, I'm awful busy. I'm trying to do all I can to make our golden age as golden as I can with our president of the United States. And when I called in to talk to, I actually was wanting to talk to a representative, and I called the switchboard like I am now the other day, and I really had a very unpleasant operator that I had to deal with, to the point where I was told that a supervisor from the switchboard would call me back, and that was last week, and I waited patiently. I thought it would be that same day, but it didn't. So before I can even address the problems that's going on in our country, well, I guess this is a problem also, because when I call the switchboard like I am now, it's usually, it's always been somebody as professional as what you're being right now. Courteous, kind, polite, prompt, the whole 9 yards. I sing your guys' praises all the time. And it really was surprising to me that I had this person talk to me the way that I was talked to last week. And even like right now, I think her name is Deborah Ross. Is that correct for the supervisor?
No, that's a congressperson is a Deborah Ross.
No. What I'm saying is, no, I couldn't get to those problems. A switchboard operator like yourself. See, I don't like saying like yourself, because I can tell that you're perfect. But you know what I mean. That
I do.
that has a job of switchboard operating. Was extremely rude and argued with me, and then hung up on me. And
That is strange.
yeah, and so it was so bad. Well, you can see it if you'd like to see it. It's on my YouTube channel. It's, if you look up King James Preston on YouTube, a really easy way to find it. If you can't find it like that, just look for James Preston. Hey, I like your hat, and then you can go through the channel that way. But you'll be able to see exactly the conversation and the argument and exactly what happened from the young lady. And as you well know, I of course couldn't get a name or anything, but I immediately called back in and talked to another switchboard operator, and 1,000% positive, as normal, as usual. And I explained to her, and she was like flabbergasted, the same as myself, and she said that she would get the supervisor. Well, the supervisor was in a training meeting or something, but that she would be calling me back. So I waited, And then I called back in before the end of the day, and they said, "Oh, no, no." And I said, "Well, I just wanted to make sure that, because I've got things to do myself, and, if she was calling or not, if it would be today." And I was assured it would be, and I never received a phone call back. So, now this is where we're at. See, there has to be accountability, because when you show up for work, you do your job, and I can tell you do it well. I've spoke to you before, and I've never had nothing except for just positive encounters, except for this young lady. And like I said, it was so bad that it needs to be taken care of. And here's the key thing: if there's a problem, then yes, there is a problem. But do you know what the worst problem is that we are having across the board, not just in the United States, but around the world, is when there's a problem, there has to be a resolve. Okay? Well, you can't resolve anything if you can't get to the people that is accountable, that should be held accountable to make sure that those problems are resolved. And also, and what would it do us any good if there's a problem and then there's no consequences to it? You know what I'm saying? It's like if I started cussing you out right now or something like that, well, there should be a consequence to that. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes beyond. It's not just rude, but there's no cause for it. There's no reason for that to be. You know what I mean? And it's like if you're driving up and down the road, if you're speeding and the agreed speed limit is 70 miles an hour, you're running 80, okay, and you get caught, okay, and then you have to pay a fine. Well, you pay that fine, cause and effect. I mean, the consequence of speeding is you had to pay that fine, okay?
That's right.
But if you don't have to pay the price for anything, well, what's to keep people from just shooting each other right now?
Yes, sir. Well, let me see what I can do, if you could just bear with me, okay?
Oh, I most certainly will, because like I said, I waited all across the weekend and everything, really, and I thought today, and that's why I waited till last thing, because I thought, well, maybe they're so busy with, other stuff, but you know what? If you don't cry, there ain't nobody going to give you a bottle. So I'm after my bottle right now,
I like your examples. One moment, sir. Hang in there with me.
Thank you, young lady.
You're welcome. One moment.
Pleasant. See, that's what you usually get whenever you call in. And it was just absolutely what you guys already know that's, watched my videos and stuff, This is not something that's like people, jumping off of a barn into a flaming pile of monkey poop or something like that, But you know what? This is way more important than monkey poop. I'm telling you, taking care of our country, and there has to be accountability. You got to have people that, and like.
I'm trying to call them. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Are you still with me?
Yeah, I was unaware. I thought you put me on hold, young lady. Go ahead.
Oh, I had to try to get to the supervisor's office. It went to because when they're on another call, it goes over to one of us. So that's what happened. I wound up reaching another operator. So let me just try again, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah. Do they usually go out early? Do we have people that's taking off early?
No. They change shift, so another one should be here now.
Oh,
And
okay.
what I'm going to do is try the supervisor line again, because like I said, our operator picked up. So hang in there with me.
All right, thank you.
Fine, okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Welcome. One moment.
There, like I said, there's so many things out there that's going on in the world right now. Like everybody's whining and stuff. I'm trying to get a hold of Miss Nancy Mace right here. If we could get a hold of her, she's supposed to be a real go-getter. Now we got to load that back up. I tried to catch it in time before it went off, but we didn't do it in time. There we go. Anyway, she does really good. I've watched her several times. You can tell she genuinely loves America. I'm just wondering if she loves Americans enough to take care of us, I think so. I can't wait to talk to her. I'm looking forward to talking to her. I talked to Josiah from Nancy's office here, and man, he seems like a straightforward go-getter. And that's really what we wanted to get to, before now. But I'm trying to take care of this situation with the switchboard operators of all people. Man, we got too many people that don't say anything, But thank the Lord above, that's changed now. We got Elon Musk that's in there just absolutely kicking butt and taking names, Thanks to our president, Donald J. Trump. I don't understand how it is that we have such corruption and everything. I mean, can you guys remember what had taken place just, even just a few short months ago? I mean, when we was under the Biden regime, I mean, they had this old guy in there that with dementia and everything else, that couldn't even remember his name, let alone, doing anything for the country other than, what was that, the UN or something like that. You remember, Trump got us out of it, and then they offered to let us back in, right? For like 32 million or whatever it was, and Biden is like, oh no, we'll come back in. We'll give 150 million. Well, no. Just like, they're finding out with his signature was auto-pinned when it was supposed to have been his actual signature on a lot of stuff before it actually made it genuine. Not.
I'm going to try again. Hang in there with me, sir. I'm trying again. One moment.
Yeah, thank you, young lady.
You're welcome. No, thank you for your patience. One moment.
So, see, there's a good example. That's how you take care of things, But anyway, I won't be able to get this young lady's name when you call in the switchboard. They don't want to give their names and stuff like that. And isn't this a shame? I'll jump out of this whole UN thing here right quick, but just to wrap it up, Biden, instead of, not that we want to back in it for any money, but you're offered to get in the door for, or to come back to a club or whatever.
Mr. Preston?
Yeah.
I have the supervisor on the line. I'm going to drop for your privacy, okay?
All right. Thank you very much. You can stay in. I don't mind at all. If the no, that's fine. Thank you, young lady. Great job.
Thank you.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm well, and yourself?
Well, I've been better actually. And who am I speaking with?
Capital Exchange Supervisor. My name is Charlie.
Charlie? Hi, Charlie. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Charlie. My name is James Preston, and I had called in and was using the switchboard last week, as I do so all the time. I have a YouTube channel, and I usually record all of my interactions and stuff. A lot of times I bypass the call-in, trying to get a hold of the quote-unquote representative, so-called representative, that I'm wanting to speak with. But also sometimes I happen to record the whole thing, like whenever I call even through the switchboard. And thank goodness this time, whenever I called in, it was one of the times that I did record. And the
operator's call?
yeah,
Is what you're saying? When
yeah,
you call into the switchboard, you're recording?
yes.
Okay. And in this particular encounter you're speaking of, you said you recorded?
Right. And it's
Okay, and what happened on the call?
well, mind-blowingly argumentative, and to the point where she wanted to argue with me, and then the key thing is, then when I asked specifically to talk to you or a supervisor, she hung up on me.
What day did you call? What day did this encounter happen?
I'd have to, let me see. I don't know that. I'm thinking it was, no, shoot, let me see. This is the 10th, right?
Today is the 10th.
Okay, I'm not for positive, but I think it was like the 5th or 6th last week.
Okay.
I'm not real for sure about that. I mean, I can get you that information, but I had called immediately right back in after she had hung up because, first of all, it wasn't right.
Show a date?
What's that?
Does your recording show a date?
Yeah, it will. But in order to get it, I would have to leave my position from where I'm at right now, and I'm not set up for
Okay,
that.
no worries.
But
What was the phone number you called from? Because that will help me track back.
um,
What day you called and which operator you spoke with.
okay, it's let me see here. I'm not for sure what my phone number is here. It's
Was an operator. It sounds like it was a female because I think I heard you say her or she.
yeah, it was, yeah. Whenever I called, when I called in, I don't remember exactly which way it was, but you know how you, hi, how are you today? And then she had asked me first, or I asked her. I don't really remember that part, but anyway, I said, well, I'm trying to save the planet by getting a hold of our representatives that's not wanting to do their job or something like that. And she went into well, how so or something. Here's what I'd rather do. I'd rather not try to pretend like I can remember exactly how it is. I would rather you watch it because I'm pretty sure that video is already uploaded now, and you can watch it for yourself. And you can see, because it's pretty much right from the very beginning. That's what the video is actually about. And the wonderful thing about
Watch this video, sir. We don't record our calls in.
no, you can watch it on my channel. If you just pull up,
Oh, are you referring to YouTube?
yeah. If you pull it up, you can see what happened because, see, I'd never ever imagined I would ever, put anything about the operator other than you can go back and you can listen to me on so many of my videos. I sing the praises of you guys. I probably overdo it because I'm always telling everybody, whenever I meet people and I'm trying to tell them, because they'll start talking about, well, the economy's bad, or, well, we shouldn't be fighting with, these people, or Ukraine, we don't need to support that, or whatever. And I'll say, well, why don't you do something about it? And 99% of the time I get this, they'll say, I don't know what to do. What can we do about it? And the first thing I tell them is to call their representative. And then the next thing they say is, we don't know who our representative is, which is sad. Think about it. You don't even know. We don't. The people out here do not understand how powerful and big of a thing that is to know your representative that you elected to put in there and what they're even for. And so then I tell them, call your representative. Well, how do I do that? I said, well, you can call the switchboard and just tell them, the name that you want. Or if you're not for sure, you can just tell them the zip code where you live, and they'll and they're always blown away at that, And the people that actually do it, like myself, always says the same thing. The switchboard operators are always professional and polite beyond. I mean, there's never ever an issue. And I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was receiving a call from my boss. I muted her, but you can go ahead.
No, you're fine if you need to talk to somebody there, man.
No, I'll get to her later.
Okay. Well, so anyway, long story short, you can look at several of my videos, and I'm saying how nice that the switchboard operators are, professional, so on and so on. And I mean, I'm always doing it. And I encourage everybody to call, into the representatives if they have a problem. And then to run into this young lady that absolutely wanted to, try to say things that was not true and everything else, first of all, is way too far for her to do. It wasn't her place, you know what I mean? But I'm glad she did. I mean, I'm glad that she did it. I mean, because there is such thing as, freedom of speech and stuff like that, but when you're in a position, you're supposed to be contacting people with the right person, which is why I was explaining to her what was going on so that she could because I wasn't for sure who to talk to. I didn't know if I wanted to speak with the sergeant of arms, which is the thing now. And the only reason I know that is because the next person that I talked to, after we talked about the problem that had just happened with the switchboard operator, then they said, well, let me try getting you. And that's what I say. They always go above and beyond, and, but they put me through to the sergeant of arms and so on and so forth, which wound up.
You spoke to the sergeant at arms regarding this also already?
I'm sorry, say it again, Charlie.
Are you saying that you spoke with the sergeant at arms regarding this call as well?
No. Yeah, I'm sorry, Charlie. Maybe I'm not. Let me clarify, if I may. When I first called in, I wasn't for sure who I wanted to talk to. So when the switchboard operator asked me how I was doing, I said, well, I'm not doing real good because I'm trying to find out who I should be calling, I think is how it went. And then she said, well, what's going on, or something like that. And then I think that's why I was explaining to her that I was having a problem with representatives who they're not representing at all. They're in there taking our money, and they're lying to us about representing us, because when you call in to a representative, you're supposed to talk to a representative or get your message to that representative, and then that representative takes your whatever it is to Congress, your demands to Congress. And they're not doing it. And the way I know that they're not doing this is because when I called in to Dave Taylor's office, supposed to be the representative of 2nd District of Ohio, I asked for a written response from him, and I got a letter saying it was from him. And later on, I proved and found out, in fact, that it was not from him at all. It was a lie. So I wanted to talk to somebody about the representatives who's taking money, pretending like that they're doing their job, and they're not doing their job. So that's when, after I had the rude call, and I called back in after speaking with her about the rude call, then she said, is there anything I can do for you? And then I explained to her what originally the call was about, that I was trying to find somebody who, and then she's the one that said, well, let's try getting you to the sergeant of arms. You see what I'm saying now?
Got it.
Okay, and then it went on, but that's just to kind of clarify that, but she went in to the rude person that we're talking about here. She ripped in and was saying that it wasn't their job to do that for me, and they didn't have to do.
The operator's job, or it's not the member's job? I mean, the conference member's job.
Well, in fact, does it really matter? Should a switchboard operator be telling me that? But yeah, she said that it was not the representative's job to have to write me back or do anything.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, no, and I really want you to see it for yourself, because I don't want to add to, I don't want to take from. I would rather you see it clearly, for as it happened or what I need you from it. And if you go to at King James Preston on YouTube, is it loaded?
Yeah.
And what is the name of it?
Issue with switchboard operator or something like that.
We'll try to pull up that information for you, young lady. Charlie, I appreciate your concern and your help in this, because nobody.
Good switchboard person.
rude switchboard person. That's what you listed. Okay. So if you look on YouTube, rude switchboard person, you know.
Well, there's multiple ones that
Just a
actually.
little bit more on the date that you called. You said it was
Yeah,
the 5th or the 6th. Do you know if it was morning, evening, midday?
Well, it was just about 3:00. It was like it was either on 2:30 or 3:30, somewhere like that.
If you
Is that
actually.
Eastern Standard Time?
East. Yeah.
Okay, 2:30 to 3:30. Thank you. That'll help.
If you actually look on the channel, there's multiple videos.
What's the date?
That are,
What's the?
I don't have a date on here.
Oh,
It
okay.
just shows the date that I published.
Okay.
Sorry about that. There's multiple videos showing what actually happened. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 videos that show what happened, because, like James said, it happened in different calls.
On the same day.
Yes.
Okay.
But the one where you can actually hear what she says, it's called rude switchboard operator. Rude switchboard operator. Or person, sorry.
Rude switchboard person.
Yeah.
And if you want to know,
With the information you provided me, I'm going to go back and look and see if I can find out which operator took this call, so this issue can be addressed. As you mentioned, this is unacceptable behavior, and regardless if the representative did not return your call or, give a favorable response, that shouldn't be anything that an operator says to anyone calling into the switchboard. So it definitely wasn't something that we want displayed or showing as a representation of us.
yeah, well,
But like I said, I'll have to go back and look and do some investigating to try to find this call to see which operator you spoke with. But I definitely appreciate you bringing this to our attention so we can address it.
here, Miss Charlie, you got something else? What is it?
If you give me a minute and let me actually look at the video itself.
Yeah, I actually, in the video, tell the time and everything of when it happened, because when I called in to the next operator to tell them about it, because I was looking for a supervisor, again, she said, what time did it happen? And I actually looked right up at my clock that's right next to me here and told her, it was this time, which I'm thinking,
Hey, if she'll hang on a minute.
if you give us just a minute, we can get the time for you here.
Well, this is the actual response that she gave.
Well, it was a response, but it wasn't from the representative.
Okay, so there's nothing we can do about that. There's nobody that oversees any of that. As long as they're answering, as long as the phones are working, and there's no trouble in the line, there's nothing to report. They answer and they respond at their own discretion. If that's the way that they responded to you, there's nothing else that can be done.
Oh, no, I think,
Nobody does go beyond that. That's that office's policy.
oh, no,
The only way to remedy that is at the voting polls when it's time. That's the only way to fix it.
oh, no, young lady, I respectfully disagree with you. That's not correct at all. No, really. See, like, I don't want you to be mad. I'm just telling you the way this actually is supposed to be. It's like if you break a law, there has to be consequences, or everybody just breaks the law. No, when you have a representative and you elect them, okay, when you call in, they are supposed to take your message directly to Congress for you. That's how this works. So when it, hold on one moment. Let me clarify here. So when you call in, okay, the answering people are supposed to, I call them human answer machines, but they're supposed to give the message to the representative. Now, we can ask for a direct response from the representative, which is what I done, okay? But I knew from the way that it was worded and the way it was jumping around and just what was going on that, in fact, it was not from the representative. And the human answer machine admitted to me through a little bit of, questioning and stuff, because I said, okay, well, if he wrote this, how about this or whatever? And then he said, well, actually, I wrote it. And I said, so you wrote it? Yep. I said, Was it just you that wrote it? Well, no, me and some the other staffers. But that's not correct. That is not because if you ask for a direct response from the representative, that's the way this is set up. You're supposed to have contact with the representative who you elected. I mean, that's the way that he gets the messages and stuff. And that's why it's broke down, why we have representatives, so many of them in each state, is because one person could not take that many calls. But in fact, that's why that we have it like this, is so that whenever you call in, if you ask for it, and you can ask for a direct written response, which is what I did. That doesn't mean a written response from whoever. That means a direct response from the representative. Look, they're not the president. They're not such. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want you to be mad at me. No.
Because at the end of the day, I've already answered your question.
Well, but you answered it incorrectly.
They hire staff to do things for them. For us,
Oh, you see, here's the.
respond to his constituents.
You're misinformed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause that one. Yeah.
I hear you. Okay, so that's enough. I was trying to catch and see whose voice that was, but I'm going to have to do a little bit more research because I.
Okay.
Okay, if you.
Well,
Right,
rewind to the back.
It's just because it's over the phone and it's a recording that's playing, so I'll have to use our system and look up your phone number and the date to see, and that'll give me a more accurate
Right, and
response as to who actually took that call on that day.
yeah, I can give you the.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah, I can give you the time here if you give me just a minute. That's what we're looking for. Are all those? Go ahead. Because it's after. I think you're amazing, man. What a rock star you've been. Dave Taylor is top of the list. It's right after that call. Jim Jordan. I won't. He will not answer the phone. He never does because he's busy all the time.
Let's go to the next one. See if
Yes,
he's-
young lady. I need the sergeant of arms for the house. Hey, Charlie.
I'm still here.
Yeah, now I'll tell you something we can do, because instead of holding you on here, what we can do is we can chase this down. If I call back into the switchboard, I can just get back to you, right? That's how easy it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and so if I do that and then call you back here shortly, can I get a hold of you?
So, will you be calling back in reference to?
Yeah, well, to give you the time, in case you can't find the time or something, like when.
Oh, I thought the time frame that I wrote down that you said earlier was 2:30 to 3:30. Has that changed?
Well, what I'm saying, it's not 2:30 to 3:30. It should be right about 2:30 or so. But I'm not for pause. That's what I say. That's what it's in reference to. Let me find the time. That way you're not waiting for us to go through, because it's on the video here, but I'm not for sure exactly where in the video that it is. So if I call back in, can I get a hold of you or no?
Yes, you'll be able to get a hold of me.
Okay, so if you'll just be looking for my call within a half hour anyway.
Half hour. Well, I think the information you provided me is enough. I don't want to have you keep, looking through that. The phone number will provide more than enough information for me to backtrack this call.
Well, Miss Charlie, I want to do my part. I want to make sure that something's done.
Definitely done your part, and I appreciate you even reaching back out to address this. So I don't want you to have to spend too much more time on this. I'm going to do my part, search and find out which operator you spoke to so we can begin addressing this.
Okay, all right, and
And again, Mr. Preston, I do apologize for you, having to experience that call. That's not anything that you should have experienced calling into the switchboard. But again, I'm going to look into this and make sure the situation is rectified.
I agree. Now, just hypothetically, without there being a name or anything like that, what is usually the course that's taken with somebody that steps out of bounds like that? I mean, is it written reprimand or what
Well,
happens?
that will be determined by human resources.
Okay. All right. So are you the one that sends it to Human Resources then, or?
I have a part in it. I'll have to escalate it to my management also.
Okay. All right. Because really,
I'll definitely be taking all these steps because this isn't, like I said, this isn't a practice that we want to have to deal with, and it should not have happened.
right, exactly. And so what
Corrective behavior before it goes on anymore.
right. So what I'm trying to do is we're trying to have accountability, across the board.
Agreed. Same here.
Right. And I can tell that, Charlie, but and I don't want you to get me wrong here, but I am absolutely like trying to show the beginning to the end to everybody that's on my channel, absolutely, but for myself also, that whenever you call into, like for instance, when I call into the representative, okay, I know that they're not supposed to hang up on we the people, but when they do, because it has happened, what happens to the people that hangs up? So far, we can't find out what happens to them. And so far as we can tell, there's nothing happening. So what we're trying to do is show transparency. It's like if you get caught for speeding, you can find out what happens is you're given a fine, then you go in and then you pay so much money for every mile an hour you was over. And that is like the finish. But we're trying to like put the whole thing together.
And the other people on the street driving, you wouldn't know what infractions that person received.
Oh yeah, but you can find that out.
Something like that.
Yeah, no, you can find you can find out because you can do a
May I ask Mr. Preston, is this call being recorded as well?
I record all of them.
So is there anything else that I can help you with before I start working on this? The investigation?
No. How would I find out like what became of it?
Well, that would be an internal matter. We wouldn't release that information.
Okay, so it's sort of like a bank. If they do something, if it's internal, I mean, we never know if anything happened truly or not, right?
Well, I think your expectation was that you would not encounter that same behavior again.
Well, absolutely. Nobody wants to encounter it, but once you do, I think you have a right to know, what becomes of it.
So as I mentioned, this would be an internal matter, and it will be determined within. We wouldn't follow up with any to update you on the outcome.
Okay, so it's okay for me to take my time and to bring manners to someone's attention to make their company or their business or their whatever better, but the payback for me is nothing for my time. Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Miss Charlie.
What were you looking for?
Well, I just wanted to know, like, if she's, because here's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? That's all I would ask is a call back saying, "Hey, we looked into the manner that wasn't proper. What had happened, and we're going to be, taking disciplinary actions or whatever." And that's it. I don't care what the discipline is. I just would like to know that something happened, because otherwise it's like, why did I spend all of my time doing this just to be left in the dark? Like what's happening now. And that's what I am working on right now in our government whenever it comes to making these so-called representatives accountable. Okay, we don't know if they're being held accountable. That's the problem. And I don't want to know that a certain thing happened or whatever. We just want to know that they are being held, it's like like I said, if you get a ticket, that you have to pay that ticket, I mean, that something was.
You're referring to the representatives or the operators now?
Well, both. I'm actually talking about both because you said,
Do you have any control over what happens with the representatives? As you mentioned,
No. Well, I got that.
The operators, I definitely have a hand in there.
Yeah, and that's common sense, Charlie. Yeah, I completely already understand that. I have common sense. You asked me, and I said it was kind of the same thing is what I'm looking for, so the same thing I'm looking for with representatives is the same thing I'm looking for here. It's accountability.
Okay, so what I can do is forward this information along to my manager, see if any
You know what? That's huge what you just did, Charlie. I can't even tell you how huge that is, what you just done. I can't even tell you how much that I appreciate that, because that lets us know that you didn't take our time and just treat it like it was a waste of time or whatever. And I mean, I can't say that more humble right now if I try, but I really appreciate what you just said. That's all we're looking for. We appreciate that very much.
Okay, fantastic. I'll get to working on this now.
All right. Do you need a number?
Thank you for bringing this information to our attention.
Do you need a number to reach me at, Charlie?
Is it different from the phone number you already provided?
Yeah, let me give you a different number.
Okay. All right, Mr. Preston. It was definitely informative talking to you. I thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. You guys do a great job.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. God bless.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Wow. I don't know. Well, let's see what happens there. You know, I hope I'm wrong. I kind of picked up on that she was getting a little bit butthurt, you know, and I hope not. But I'm telling you, I was completely taken sideways there whenever she responded, because I thought, man, she's going to be one of those that just like don't get it, you know, and it would be terribly sad too. But you know, when she says, well, hey, you know what, if you want to know, or what, I'm kind of, but we'll see what happens. Let's see if she carries through with that first. But yeah, I was glad that she actually said that. So I give her a phone number and stuff so she can, you know, let us see what happens, because as so many of you have out there that says the same thing, and I say, like, why report something? You know, why tell anything? Why say anything about when there's a problem? You take that burden on yourself, and then you become the burden on somebody else. And who wants that? Because it's time after time after time, again and again and again. And for what? Where is the benefit? You know, because like Miss Charlie there, the supervisor, just said, you know, it's like, well, what are you wanting? You know, what's your expectation? That it just never happens again? Well, yeah, I don't want it to happen again, Miss Charlie. Absolutely, I don't want it to happen again. But what if it does happen again? Because actually, in all reality, help me out, Noam. If my memory serves me correctly, didn't I have like a little boo-boo before this one? Wasn't there?
Wasn't that severe.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing like this, but we had a little bit. So there was a time before this,
Yeah.
but I never said nothing about it, because, again, with the switchboards, they're always, and I mean, you heard the ones today, and especially you, Miss Charlie, man, you know, always professional and polite and stuff. Although, Charlie, I got to tell you, you know, there for a little bit, which is kind of a problem, because you don't want to feel like whenever you're going to somebody's mom and dad and telling them that the kids are, you know, throwing rocks at windows or running out in the street in front of cars or something, you know, which somebody would argue with me and they would say, well, you know, this ain't near as tragic as that. Well, no, I'm telling you right now, it's more tragic than that, actually, because you're dealing with people's freedom of speech, the freedom of speech, you know, you're stifling it, because if you make it to where people don't want to call in because, you know, the people get rude, which they do. And like I just remembered, this in fact is number 2 that was severe enough to talk to a supervisor. And I forgot all about the first one. I just let it go. But I pulled it back up now in my memory, unfortunately, because guess what? This stuff does happen again, doesn't it? I'll be right back. All right, so this here, I pulled it back up on YouTube here, and the world famous Gnome, shout out to the Gnome there, Great job, by the way. She named this one Rude Switchboard Person. Now, what I was telling Charlie, the supervisor at the switchboard, is that I don't always record, especially like the calling in, because it's the same thing and everything. And although I got to tell you, from now on, I think I'm going to record every one of them. But no, I usually don't, and for several reasons. First of all, it's repetitive, and then sometimes you get the mechanical answer machine, like, you're not worth our time answering, so we're not, or whatever you got to listen to. So this one here, in fact, it starts with me already talking to the rude operator person, switchboard operator person, to be more precise there for Gnome there. All right. So this call's already happening, and I thought, man, I better push record because I can't believe this, And let's do a little bit of it here so you can tell what's going on. Well, it was a response, but it wasn't from the representative.
Okay, so there's nothing we can do about that. There's nobody that oversees any of that. As long as they're answering, as long as the phones are working, and there's no trouble in the line, there's nothing to report.
Here, I apologize. I'm going to start that back over. Maybe you can edit it out a little bit or something. Well, it was a response, but it wasn't. Here, hold on. All right, let me turn this up good so we can hear good. There we go. Now.
Correct.
So this right here, to be clear, I was already on the phone with the switchboard operator trying to get a hold of, I wasn't for sure who. I just knew that I wanted to talk to Sergeant of Arms or somebody, but I didn't know that at the time. So, I was trying to explain the situation to this young lady and tell her, what was going on so that she would know, in fact, who to put me in contact with. So, well, it was a response, but it wasn't from the representative. Okay, so I had just told her about a letter that was written, an email that came to me after I had requested a written response from Dave Taylor, 2nd District of Ohio. I'm not going to call him representative. I'm not going to put representative like I always do or whatever. I mean, we know who we're talking about now. Dave Taylor, concrete dude or whatever, then decided that he wanted to become a representative, making probably $12,000 a year or whatever. Look at it. No, what you?
It's 11,000.
Yeah, it's like peanuts. Why does somebody want a job like that? And then claim that they don't want to be? Yeah, Nancy Pelosi, millions of dollars. Think about it. Anyway, so I just was telling her what was going on. That in fact it was not a response from Dave Taylor, and I found it out. And you can go look at the videos, and you can see clearly, that AJ, wasn't it AJ? AJ at Dave Taylor's office clearly tells me that he and the rest of the answer machines wrote back to me. It was not Dave Taylor at all. But when you read the letter, it says, this is me, Dave Taylor, and I'm this and that, and it's signed Dave Taylor and the whole 9 yards, right? Okay. But then I find out that it was not. So I'm calling because it's all a bunch of garbage, and I'm trying to figure out what happens to, and how to, what do we do about these people that's lying to us and taking our money, and they're not really listening to our voice. So,
okay, so there's nothing we can do about that. There's nobody that oversees any of that. As long as they're answering, as long as the phones are working.
So she's telling me this switchboard person is saying there's nothing that I can do about that. Now, this is a switchboard, so she's wrong. She's absolutely wrong. There's always something that can be done about everything. And there's going to be something done about this. because as we the people know, thank you, Mr. Elon Musk, who's in there ripping all this free ride money and stuff out of the hands of these democrat liberals, you know, this U.S. aid and all, AID or whatever it's called and everything, the Department of Education. Yeah, they give us an education, all right, didn't they? They ripped the money right out of our hands and put it in theirs. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's not just that they ripped the money out of our hands. It's the money that would have been in our hands. But what about the money that would have been in our children's hands that they need, you know? So...
And there's no trouble in the line. There's nothing to report. They answer and they respond at their own discretion. If that's the way...
See, their own discretion. So remember, this ain't an elected official. This is a switchboard operator. At their own discretion, which means you don't tell them nothing. They tell you. It's at their own discretion. See?
If they responded to you, there's nothing else that can be done.
Oh, no. If they responded to you, never mind the fact that it wasn't supposed to be they, it was supposed to be him.
I go beyond that. That's that office's policy.
Oh, no. And now she's talking about it's office policy. Nobody ever said anything, but the switchboard operator knows the policies. She's big about them policies.
The only way to remedy that is at the voting polls when it's time.
So what she's saying is the only way you remedy that is at the voting polls. So if somebody's doing something, as long as they're elected from this time to this time, you know, and they're screwing you over here or wherever it's at, nothing you can do about it. You just suck that up until election time, and then you don't have anything to say. The only thing you can do is just elect somebody else. Man, come on. Man, I'm so glad that our country is not ran by individuals with this mindset, you know?
And the issue that you're addressing wouldn't even be on the voting poll to start with. I mean, how does she see...
Well, that's the key thing, what you're saying. It's not going to be on there. She doesn't care about that. She's just saying, suck it up no matter what until voting time.
But that's what I'm saying. Even at voting time, just electing a new representative or a new official, that's not going to solve the problem when the problem isn't addressed.
Right. Well, if we go out and you're pulled over for speeding or something like that, can you just take off and tell the cop, well, no, there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to catch me next time or the next day.
Well,
you know what I mean?
But it ain't gonna end.
No, you see what I'm saying? When it's a reversed around on we the people, if we're caught doing something, they immediately make us pay. Immediately. But see, when we catch them doing something, especially stifling our freedom of speech, our voice, because see, this ain't just stopping us from talking. This is, I don't know the word to call this, because when you think that you're talking and your message is getting to somebody and it's not, or is it? See, that's the big thing. If it is getting there, and which I think is the case. I really do that. Well, let's see. I better put it this way. I see this as a case where somebody is saying, you know what? Don't bother me with stuff like that. Y'all just have fun with it. You know, respond back however you want to. And it was really in that what gave them away. And I'm not. I mean, I can tell you right now, from the way that it reads, the letter. The email. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, well, it was more about covering their butt. Yeah. And it jumped from one thing to another thing. And one thing that you know about people that are in these positions, they are all self-centered. It's all about them. And when this letter reads, the email, when it reads, it is saying, this is supposedly Dave Taylor talking. He says about how wonderful a privilege that it is to get to work with those. It's a great honor to work with the staffers, but he don't call them staffers, does he? His whatever, you know.
Colleagues or whatever it was. I can't remember the exact word, but
Yeah, and anyway, yeah. Well, it's on here. Maybe we'll pull that up here in a little bit or something. But anyway, we'll get back into this, diving off into flaming monkey poop.
That's the only way to fix it.
Oh, no, young lady. We'll rewind it just a little bit.
That office's policy.
Oh, no.
The only way to remedy that is at the voting polls when it's time. That's the only way to fix it.
Oh, no, young lady. I respectfully disagree with you. That's not correct at all. Is it? No, really. See, like, I don't want you to be mad. I'm just telling you the way this actually is supposed to be. It's like if you break a law, there has to be consequences, or, everybody just breaks the law. No, when you have a representative and you elect them, okay, when you call in, they are supposed to take your message directly to Congress for you. That's how this works. So when no. Hold on 1 moment. Let me clarify here. So when you call in, okay, the answering people are supposed to, I call them human answer machines, but they're supposed to give the message to the representative. Now, we can ask for a direct response from the representative, which is what I done. Okay. But I knew from the way that it was worded and the way it was jumping around and just what was going on that, in fact, it was not from the representative. And the human answer machine admitted to me, AJ, through a little bit of, questioning and stuff, because I said, okay, well, if he wrote this, how about this or whatever? And then he said, well, actually, I wrote it. And I said, so you wrote it? Yep. I said, was it just you that wrote it? Well, no, me and the other staffers. But that's not correct. That is not because if you ask for a direct response from the representative, that's the way this is set up. You're supposed to have contact with the representative who you elected. I mean, that's the way that he gets the messages and stuff, and that's why it's broke down. Why we have representatives, so many of them in each state, is because one person could not take that many calls. But in fact, that's why that we have it like this, is so that whenever you call in, if you ask for it, and you can ask for a direct written response, which is what I did. That doesn't mean a written response from whoever. That means a direct response from the representative. Look, they're not the president. They're not such. I'm going to pause that right there because you see, we have to figure out exactly what it is that is going on across the board. And the way that we figure out what's going on is we have to make them understand that you all are not wagging the dog, okay? We're wagging our own tail. And it is a privilege to be the tail for the dog. So these people taking these jobs, it's, $12,000, a year, and so on and so forth. Come on. I mean, it's like this. We keep saying the same thing. It's like, we know they're not taking it for $12,000 a year. So what are we saying? Well, they're not taking it for $12,000 a year because they're getting in there and they're calling for these government grants or whatever that says, hey, if you put in, whatever it is, to help children with school lunches, we'll give you, there's a $3 million or whatever it happens to be a year. I don't know, but they pay for that. So then somebody says, wow, I think there's a lot of money to be made there. So, and in fact, that's what Doge is doing right now. He's like, wait a minute, $3 million to feed kids for, 6-9 months, whatever it is out of the year, breakfast and lunch, what is it, a banana and some milk, or something? And then they're like, well, $3 million, I could do that for $100,000 or whatever it happens to be. And then what happens to the rest of it? Do they send it back? Do they just say, hey, we're not? And you know, why isn't it set up like that? Or maybe it is, right? See, that's what I say. There's no clarification. But there's definitely no kind of accountability. Like, okay, we know so-and-so making $12,000 a year is over, you know, these programs. Let's just say the school lunch thing of $3 million or whatever. Okay, well, it says you ordered, you know, 2 truckloads of milk and da-da-da or whatever it is at the end of the year, and it only come up to 100,000. Well, where's the other million and such at? Or, you know, or 2 million and such? Where'd it go to? You know? Well, why is it set up that they say, okay, here's $3 million, you know, okay, now just show us receipts. Okay. And nobody bothers to look at those receipts. What? And why isn't it such a way that they say, hey, we got $3 million for you. Use whatever you need to cover and make sure these children are fed properly and good meals. Okay, now, you're charged $20,000 for a truckload of pizzas or whatever it is, you know, frozen, whatever. I don't know. Okay, well, when you get that bill of sale, you know, then hand that off to whoever made them pizzas, and then they turn it into the government, and then they get paid, right? Well, that's kind of what's going on, right? But the only thing is, the people in the government are, you know, they're messed up. And that's where all the corruption really happens. Because it comes down to the person that says, okay, here, I'm going to buy this truckload of, you know, whatever we said, pizzas or whatever for 20 grand or whatever happens to be. You know, he just adds another zero in there, sends that in, and then, you know, nobody questions that. That's how we're getting to where we're at now. So there has to be checks and balances. You know, there has to be procedures put in place, you know, that checks up on this and says, okay, wait a minute, $20,000 is what that truckload is. That's what they're charging everybody else that it's going to. And yes, that's a good deal. So, yeah, we will sign off on that. Here you go. And then it goes to government. And then the same thing should take place there before it's paid off. But instead, you got people, Nancy Pelosi keeps coming up, don't she? Chuck Schumer and all of them keeps coming up, doesn't it? It's because they're worth millions of dollars by taking a $12,000 a year position, right? Now, I think Speaker of the House or whatever gets 200 and some thousand, whatever, but it's all the same, right? It's like peanuts compared to what they show in their bank account, you know? And if this was you or I, think about it, just like with Al Capone, you know, it got busted for, of all things, they went after him trying to get him for murders and everything else, and then they finally wind up busting him for tax evasion, you know? So, anyway. Yeah, go ahead. I don't want you to be mad at me. No. Because I'm seriously trying to educate this buffoon. She's a buffoon. But she don't want to be educated. And that's the problem. If somebody shows me that there's something different other than what I'm saying, and I mean, it's proof and it makes sense, common sense, hey, I'll switch gears. I've done it several times before. But clearly you can tell all she wants to do is argue and be right. So, and you know what? Here's who it reminds me of is Miss Crockett. This switchboard operator right here reminds me of, what's her name? Crockett. She's a senator or a representative, whatever she is anyway. Anyway.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I've already answered your question.
Well, but you. So what she said right there, at the end of the day, I've already answered your questions. No, you didn't answer my question there, Miss Crockett. No, you didn't. No, what you did is you babbled what you want it to be in your world. And you can take your world and go cross seas someplace. Huh?
Jasmine?
Yeah, I think it is Jasmine Crockett. Thanks, no. Yeah, that's really the problem that we're having. We have all these people that's bitter and that they don't want to have better lives and so on and so forth. Yeah, find a better picture.
Is that the one you're thinking of? Though?
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. What state is she for?
Texas, I think.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think it is Texas.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Jasmine Crockett there, whatever, you can watch her. She's just absolutely nutball. She doesn't want anything's better for anybody, Anyhow, yeah. So answered it incorrectly. You.
They hire staff to do things for them. Perhaps.
You see, here's the.
Respond to his constituents.
You're misinformed.
Congressman, honestly, if I can be 100% honest with you, you can request it all day long.
She said it, if I can be honest with you. There's not an honest bone in that thing's friggin' body.
But nobody has ever written any laws out that says that they must sit down and handwrite responses to all of their constituents.
Oh, again. Now, there you go. She just said something that's nailing my point right there. Nobody has ever sat down and written laws to this point. This is the problem. So, see, here's proof positive. You can learn something, even from the dumbest of people. This really is, this is a great example. Because she is saying exactly what I am setting out to do. And as you heard me talking with Miss Charlie, the supervisor, we want to know, what happens. We want clarification. It's like, okay, you're saying that, well, you're not supposed to do something, but what happens when you do something? When that line is crossed, when somebody does get out of bounds, if there's no repercussions for it, what's their answer? Right here, she's saying, well, ain't no laws written about it. There's no laws written about it. So all you get to do is, next time there's an election, you just get to, pick some other loser to do the same thing. Because the other people that come along, they know that there's absolutely no accountability for any wrongdoings that they do to we the people. So they know that they can just keep doing it. Here's what it reminds you of. This is entirely fact. Do you know why that you cannot sue an elected official or judges or somebody? Listen how dumb this is. This is something so incredibly stupid, and we the people should not be tolerating this whatsoever. But it's a fact. You can, in fact, sue a judge. You can go sign the papers and all that stuff or whatever, but they'll throw it out. Why do they throw it out? Because there's no previous ruling against a judge. So a judge can't go back and find a previous ruling on something to make a ruling on the now. And that is mind-blowingly stupid to me, because it's kind of like if, first time that your kids would come up and they'd say, hey, I had this football first. No, I did. No, I had it first. And it's never happened before. So you have to make a decision, right? Or you just say, well, sorry about that. Y'all fight that out because, which actually probably would be the best thing to do in that scenario. But I'm talking about a bad case, it's like something way more serious and tragic, you know what I mean? Such as, I don't know, say a judge gave you a ruling that was not just in no way, and I'm sure that's never happened to anybody on here, right? Okay, yeah, well, it's happened plenty of times to my ass, I can tell you that. But that's how it is. They honestly have that like that. It's like you can sue them, it won't go anywhere because there's never been a previous conviction against a judge or a mayor or something like that, you know. So anyway, all right, let's get back to this wonderful piece of it. Again, you're misinformed. Again, no, you're missing.
They are giving them their parts of the response that they want them to respond and send to their constituents. They're not going to sit down and handwrite anything to you, and I don't think that they ever gave out any correspondence or any guidelines that said that we must do this. It would be nice. It's probably what you would prefer.
What's she saying right there? They didn't sit down and give out any guidelines to like what happens, you know, if they don't do their job, you know. And she says it's probably what you would prefer. Yeah, I'd actually prefer for them to write out some guidelines and stuff. That's exactly what I'm getting at here. That's what I want. We need guidelines. We need to know, because what are guidelines for? It's so that you go a certain way, right? Well, what happens when you don't go that way? That's the key thing. And, man, I'm telling you, this is the problem here. This is another one of them liberal crats. Thank goodness that this Crockett ain't in there neither.
But I'm pretty sure that that's not the way it works. They hire staffers to write
I'm pretty sure.
speeches, to write responses to constituents, even to answer their phones and take your messages. If that were the case, if they were going to be doing these handwritten responses, they would also sit there and answer your phone call as well.
No.
That's not the way that works. It's not going to happen that way.
Oh, you're missing. You're missing.
Yeah, she's
No,
well.
you're completely wrong, young lady. Let me explain to you why you're wrong. It is wrote down. It's called it. It is. Wait. Hold on. I give you a minute. Now let me have a minute. You're really bad mistaken, because it is wrote down. It's called the Constitution. And if you read the Constitution.
Doesn't say that a representative is going to sit there and write a response out to every constituent that wants a response. I'm sure it's not there. So if you'd like to take that up.
Wait. So you know.
And see, she's just barking out stuff. She don't really want any clarification. It doesn't matter, you know, about the Constitution to this thing or anything. And, you know, it's really quite sad that she don't want to learn. But you can tell she's one of those butthurt, you know, liberals that, you know, didn't like Trump. Well, actually, we the people.
You know the Constitution. So do you know the Constitution?
I'll be happy to transfer you back to that.
Now,
Yeah,
listen,
well,
see, anytime you ask them a question, Betty, that's they're ready to run.
See, that's a Democrat for you, because what you're doing right now is you're talking, and whenever I point out facts to you, when facts are pointed out to you, then that's what you guys do, is you run and you want to. Why don't you hang up, because you know that you're losing the argument, and you also know that I'm correct. That's why you want to hang up on me.
No, I don't want to hang up.
No, that's what you're doing. Yeah, because every time that I answer you with a informed response, then you want to hang up on me, or you want to move on, and that's a Democrat liberal move. So you must really like Miss Crockett. You like Crockett, don't you? You like Chuck Schumer? Are you working for Chuck Schumer? Yep. You know what? Give me your supervisor. I want your supervisor. I want your supervisor.
And we know that she heard me because I said, I want your supervisor. And then she says, you have a good day. And then I said, I want your supervisor. And then she.
Okay. Now we got something else. Let's see, what is the date today? That's March.
No,
something,
right.
March 3rd, 4th, something like that. That's,
Okay,
all right,
March 4th. All right. Okay, so I immediately call the switchboard back. So, and right here is where it'll tell the exact time.
Reached the United States Capitol Switchboard. Please say the name of the senator or representative that you are trying to reach. Or say, I'm not sure.
need a supervisor.
you were trying to reach, or say I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Which are you trying to reach? You
I-
can say senator. or
I'm
representative.
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, I was unable to help you today.
It's just better to say I'm not sure because it's really. All right. So, anyway, I immediately call back.
Hello, Capital Operator. How are you?
Hi, good. How can I help you today? How about yourself?
Well, I'm not.
Now, see the attitude to this one here? That's how it usually goes, you know? And so isn't it something? It's like you got a problem like here that you want to get to, you know, with the representatives and stuff, you know, not even hearing and more importantly, brushing off we the people. And then something in here that you never expect to come along comes along. Another problem, right? Ain't no wonder nobody wants to do anything.
For the damn now, you know, I've always bragged about you guys at the switchboard, Capital Switchboard, and all that stuff. I'm not kidding you. On my YouTube channel, I'm always saying how awesome and amazing the switchboard is. You guys are always like right on it and so polite and so professional. And now there was
Not
a
always.
young lady that I just got done that just hung up on me for absolutely no reason, that wanted to tell me how the Constitution and all that is supposed to be or whatever according to her. And whenever I get
In fact, not supposed to be because she didn't want to talk about the Constitution, right?
give her informed information, I mean, all she was doing was arguing with me. And then I asked for her supervisor, and she wouldn't do that. And then she wound up hanging up on me, which is mind blowing to me because I've never ever had an issue. Never.
Sure.
Seeing right there, as I already point,
This is happening, and
I forgot about the.
you call
Just now. Just now.
Right
I
here.
mean, I literally.
2 minutes ago or so.
Yep, she hung up on me, and I pretty much just pushed redial, and I'm talking to you now. So
Looking at the clock.
Okay, let me see if I can get you over to a supervisor. Maybe they can pull the operator to the side to discuss that matter. Give me one moment.
thank you so much.
Sure, you're welcome.
What is the date today? Is this the 3rd or 4th?
Today's the 4th.
4th.
It's March 4th today.
March 4th, 2025. All right.
Yes. Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna get you transferred over. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Man, it's mind blowing to me because I've never had an issue. Never. You guys are always so professional.
Sure, no, not a problem. Give me one moment, okay?
Yep.
So I'm sorry that happened. Just one moment, please.
Thanks again.
Now I looked at the clock right there, but in fact, it must be whenever I talk to the supervisor when I actually say the time. So, but we know that was the 4th now. March 4th, 2025.
Take a pause for the calls.
And you know what? Look at all
You're
the
back.
look at all the stuff right
Anyway,
now.
it's
How long we've been on here over a problem. It's no wonder why nobody wants to do anything, because
12:41.
it should 12:41. Is that what it is? Shane?
Yep.
Anyway, it's 12:41
Yeah.
now.
12:41. Okay, so that would have happened.
So that was
12.
about 12:30, between 12:30 and 12:35, I would say.
Okay, 12:30 and 12:30.
In the PM that happened with this.
So just afternoon, then.
name or anything. So.
Now, so I'm waiting to get on the phone with a operator or a supervisor and stuff here at the switchboard, and of course they don't do anything that day. And in fact, she says that she will call me back, and they never did. And this is the 10th that I'm making this right here now. I'm going to try to get this one out. I don't know if we can get it out or not. Well, I'm going to try to get this one out ASAP, because we are chasing down, and what people are not understanding is that it's no longer acceptable And it should have never been acceptable to say, oh, it's okay. I don't need to see the consequences of what happens. Just fix it. That doesn't work, because just like, the Department of Internal Affairs or whatever, that is such garbage, man. So let me ask you a question. You break the law in any way across through the day or whatever, do you immediately go up to somebody and be like, hey, I was just speeding out there in the parking lot. It says 10 miles an hour and I went 20. So I just want to, you got a ticket or something you can write me? Or do you run up to the courthouse or something and tell them, hey, I was doing 80 and 70 miles an hour, or whatever the case may be? No, because you are self-governing, Now, we have to repent and stuff for our sins, don't we? Because we don't want the Lord to be mad at us in no way, no how. But, we just need to make sure that there is accountability. But, and this is the part that I'm working on. And you know what? It really, I find myself pausing and stuff. It's really quite interesting because, now that I'm thinking of it, it's the part that's not there that people aren't saying, but yet it's there and causing a problem that I am working on. It's like whenever you call into an office of somebody and they will tell you, I've told them before, I said, well, you'll probably wind up hanging up on me like the last ones did. They will say, oh, no. It's our policy, or no, we're not allowed to do that, or whatever they say. And, but yet they'll go ahead and they'll do it. Okay. Now, when they hang up on you on something they're not supposed to be doing, and then you call them back and they won't even take your call because, they say they don't have caller ID, but somehow, some way and also if you try to find out, well, and I've asked them too, I said, well, what's the consequence for if you do hang up on somebody? And to be exactly clear here, we're not talking if somebody's rude, cussing at them, or, just, calling them names, or if it's something that has nothing to do with, like if somebody's calling up and asking, they believe that the left Snickers is better than, that's Twix, isn't it? The left Twix is better than the right Twix or something like that, which we know better. It's always the right. I mean,
It's neither now because it's bioengineered.
Yeah, it's bioengineered. Stay away from it. Very, very good point. Big shout out to our man RFK, Robert Kennedy, man. Please help us, brother. Today everybody's all worried about the economy and everything, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm not worried about the economy at all. They're talking about this is crashing, that's crashing, the tariffs that Trump's putting on this and that and everything else. Well, thank you, Mr. President Trump, for doing what you're doing, because it's exactly what I want done. And if you start doing something that I don't want done, I will assure you, I will let you know. But you're doing a great job, so keep it up. Elon, thank you so much, Elon. Great job. Keep it up. They're talking about, the rest of the world is all mad at us. Well, I wonder why they're mad at us. Because we finally said, you're not going to continually take our children's money out of their pockets. You're not going to continuously take our money. I mean, how many times, who have you ever heard complain about taxes? You've never heard anybody complain about taxes, right? Everybody complains about taxes. And then when there's somebody that we finally put in there that starts doing something about taxes. But here's the thing. Anybody that is true red, white, and blue blooded they already know there's nothing here to be complaining about. There's celebration time. If China's got their butt hurt, so be it. They made a rip fortune off of us. To call it a fortune is an understatement, isn't it? And you know what? Across the board, every country could. I mean, who does this? Think about it. The UN or whatever, Biden says, no, we're not going to pay $35 million. We'll just pay $150 million. Why? Because he didn't care about your money at all. And you know what? Justin Trudeau, man, I'm going to tell you something. How does Canada, to all you up there in Canada, how are you guys putting up with him? I don't understand that. And then you have these weak-minded individuals right here in America who are out of their freaking minds. They're like, oh, Canada's mad at us. And oh, Mexico's mad at us and everything. Well, you know what? If somebody's mad at us because that we said you're not ripping us off anymore, keyword, anymore, and we're just going to make it fair, well, think about it. If you just made a crap ton of money off of us as far back as you can look back, and then all of a sudden you say, hey, you know what? We're not going to, because the word reciprocal, that means that even, like if you charge us, we're going to charge you the same amount. How can that be unfair? Huh? So here's the deal. Somebody smacks you in the mouth. You don't want to smack them back in the mouth? Absolutely. You want it to be reciprocal, right? All right. A lot of people I'd like to smack in the mouth. I'm actually thinking about that right now. Yeah. Yeah. You know who you are. I'd like to take you to lunch. You idiots out there that knows that you need smacked in the mouth, give me a shout and just say you'd like to go to lunch with me. Anyway, I'll buy. Hell, I've already paid enough because you're dumbasses, so that won't be a drop in the bucket. The dessert is really what I'd be looking for. All right, anyway. All right, so we've got to have accountability. Anytime that people are doing stuff, and you know what? If you think about hanging up, just hanging up. Like I said, if you was saying something rude or it wasn't, on track with what they're about or something, I get it. And really, you could argue, even if you was to call in about Twix or something, I mean, you might have something there too, because it's bioengineered. Okay? Well, RFK, where you at, brother? Get this stuff out of here, right? That's why that we put Trump in there, because we knew he was going to, and we all absolutely agreed on Robert, we just didn't care much for his unaliving of the little ones, which absolutely was mind-blowing to me that he had that mentality. And that
I hope agree with his vaccine opinion.
Well, I don't know. No, I think what he's saying, no, I totally agree with him. What he's saying is verify that it works. That's all that RFK said. He's just saying, make sure that it works. He's saying that if you're calling it a vaccine, make sure it's a vaccine. Make sure that somebody didn't have to be unalive to have it. How can that be wrong?
That was my point, though. What they're putting in these vaccines and then saying, and a lot of people don't even know what's going in them.
Well, that's what he is. See, they're saying he's anti-vaccine. He's not anti-vaccine at all, and he'll even tell you he's not. He is not anti-vaccine. He is for it as long as it works. Like what with polio and all of it, what a great thing! Thank goodness that come out, right?
Yeah, but they weren't unaliving people or torturing people to get certain things out of them.
But what do you think that he's saying? That's what he's saying. He's saying, fine, great, have vaccines.
No, you're misunderstanding.
You are, because you're not really.
No, I'm glad he's in there.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted on him, because that's where everybody, they're twisted on RFK. They're thinking that he's anti-vax. He's not anti-vax. He's the same as I am when it comes to us. Like, sure, you got a vaccine that's going to help me, like, not get a China virus whenever they unleash it or something. Fine. Show me it works and it ain't going to hurt me. That's what he's saying. You know, have the time involved with researching it first.
Not made from,
Right. Demonic evilness. Make sure it don't have demonic evilness. Unaliven. Yes. That's what so don't let that get in your head. That's where a lot of people's at. They think, oh, RFK, he's anti-vax. He never said that, not one time. And he's not anti. He is for stuff that works, you know. And so am I. I'm absolutely all about stuff that works, you know. And right now, we have a lot of them in there that's not working. They're not working. I don't understand at all. If you walk outside and you know that it's daytime, and somebody walks up to you and they say, well, it's nighttime, smack them in the damn mouth. Smack them hard. Because this is what's happening now. We have all kinds of these idiots that are blatantly lying to us, you know. And I mean, I keep saying, and everybody should be saying it, you know. But Nancy Pelosi, man, but it's not just her, is it? Chuck Schumer and all what's that ugly old rat skin? That dude. Look at their bank accounts, man. You cannot have a job making $200,000 a year and then be living in a multi-million-dollar mansion, and it's not just one. And here's the thing: a lot of people don't even think about this. But okay, let's say that you scrape up your pennies and stuff, and you're able to come up with a multi-million-dollar mansion. How many multi-thousands of dollars is that multi-million-dollar mansion going to cost you? How many thousands to just keep that thing a year? You know, and we're talking about just heating and cooling. You know, we ain't even got to the taxes, which should not be there. We should not have taxes. If you rake up enough money to buy a $3 million mansion or whatever, then by golly, you shouldn't have to pay taxes on the dumb thing, period. It's yours. Now, if somebody buys it or something, I don't know, there's an argument that could be made there, like to maybe, you know, have a little bit of taxes or something just for transfer fees or something like that. But nothing, no thousands of dollars or anything like that. That's completely ridiculous. And this goes on and on and on. But we're starting right here at the level where I'm at. If I pick up this phone right here and I'm trying to call a representative here in the 2nd District of Ohio, we have no representative. We don't have one. Not in the 2nd District. We have Dave Taylor, who is getting paid to sit in there. Now, here's the thing, Dave. We already know that you don't care about the salary, because none of yous do. None of you out there care about the little meager $12,000. How much? Look up and see what Dave Taylor's making a year being represented.
What is the
But
salary?
nobody cares about the salary that we the people are giving them. That's not why they're in there. You know, they're in there because they want to make a difference, right? For we the people, right? Nah, they always want to say about how good they are and that they're good on business and all this or whatever there is, or, you know, or they're haters of the president or something like that, and then, you know, then they make some traction or something. But what do they do? What do they do? They get in there. They don't even know what the damn job is. They don't even know what it's there for. And they don't even understand how prestigious of a job that actually is, to have the power of the people. I mean, I don't understand how it could be that difficult. It's not that difficult of a job, I'll guarantee you. Other than, the only way it would be difficult is if you went in with the right mindset and you want to help the people. I'll guarantee it's difficult because look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, Miss MTG there. She goes in, she's trying to do the right thing, and she gets like bombarded by all of the lefties in there. And you know, another thing that you can look at, if you're in government and you're doing the right thing, why should it be difficult at all? Why should you have to be fighting with anybody if you're in there genuinely working for the people? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not even kidding you. I would simply ask, you know, like on here, you can put a questionnaire thing right up on the screen right here. But if there was something that come up, I would say, hey, what do you think about, you know, tariffs against Canada? You know, or whatever the issue would be. And especially if it's just like the 2nd District of Ohio or something. Any question that come up. You know, if I called in and I say, hey, what should happen if you get hung up on? I would say, let me get right back to you. Take their number and everything. And then I would put it out to the people, and I'd say, people of the 2nd District, and it wouldn't matter. I mean, I'd run it across Ohio and everything else, but mainly the 2nd District, right? And I'd say, what do you guys feel should be, you know, what should happen to somebody if you're hung up on when you're trying to call in and talk to your representative? Nothing. Just move on, right? Nah. What?
The salary for an Ohio representative varies. As of the latest data, based on annual salary for a state representative in Ohio is $63,000 a year.
Oh, so he's rolling the big bucks.
However,
They don't care about.
However, salaries can vary based on individual roles and responsibilities.
Well, just ask directly. What does Dave Taylor make?
It varies. They pay him if he travels somewhere.
Okay, what's the base pay?
The minimum is $38,000.
All right. It doesn't matter. He's gonna do a bunch of traveling all year long because he's got to run here and there. Let's give him $100,000. Do you think he gives two craps about $100,000? He don't care about $100,000. Now he'll take it. He'll take it.
They get 52 cents per mile he travels.
Yeah, he'll take it. He'll take it. He'll take that $100,000. But that's not why he's doing that job. That's not why he's doing that job. He ain't doing that job to make the 2nd District any better. He's not. In Ohio here too, you know, I've got to get started on old Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, I don't remember exactly what it was he did not so long ago, but he's running for governor for Ohio now. Which, don't get me wrong, I mean, anybody that gets DeWine out of there, man, what a freaking doofus. DeWine has got to go for sure. I'm not so for sure about old Vivek Ramaswamy there. Smart guy, very intelligent, well-spoken. Trump likes him, you know. But I don't know. I don't know what happened there because one minute he was in on the Doge.
And now you don't really hear anything.
And then he you know, politely declined on that, which I don't blame him. I mean, Elon Musk, you know what I mean? How you going to compare with, you know, the squad of patriots that he took in there that's absolutely just ripping the money out of everything, you know, just. And let's be clear, really, they're not ripping the money out of anything. What they're doing is they're just stopping the promise of the currency is what it is. It's not really money, is it? It's currency. But what a wonderful thing. And he's got a squad of like highly, like Trump said, what was their IQ, 181 or 182 or something, 2 something or whatever it was, super high intelligent, But you see, one thing that you got to watch about is if you have somebody that has a very, very high IQ, sometimes, and I'm not saying all times, but sometimes they're missing like common sense things, And that's probably why that we get such amazing things. It's because they throw common sense out the window and they actually wind up building something that's pretty daggone amazing, right? But then you have people that don't have the common sense, the same ones that built really amazing things. And then if you try to put them in a common sense position, president, you wouldn't want them to be, So you got to have checks and balances. You got to have, yin to the yang, or however you want to call it. You gotta have a balance. And I'm going to tell you something. I think that our president and Elon together, I think that's, a historical combination. Imagine what it would be like if you could be around Einstein for a little while, What an amazing, amazing mind Einstein had. He was definitely ahead of his time, right? But why wasn't he president? Right? So, anyway, but here's what we got to watch. We got to make sure that we get people in the future, especially from now on, that has common sense. I would take common sense out of genius. I would prefer common sense any day of the week over a high IQ. Give me somebody that's just got good common sense. Because Trump, high IQ, has common sense, kind of a rare thing. But, I just think that the combination of having Trump and Elon together is really, really going to do amazing things. Here's the thing. Have you ever set out to, straighten up a room, or have you ever started, you said, for example, I think I'll clean out the garage. And you go out to, let me get this on something here real quick. Okay. Here, we'll put this beautiful guy on there. Yeah, we'll put that happy face on there. Right there, happy face.
Happy face?
Yeah, who has said that? Well, it was Tom, what was his name? Tommy Lee. This is my happy face. Now I'm curious, what's his name? Anyway, so I want to switch gears on it. Have you ever went to clean out your garage or something? Like you can't get your car in there, and you go out to clean out that garage. What happens? You start taking this box out, that box out. Next thing you know, you look around and it's like chaotic, right? And you're like, what have I done? I do it all the time. But you know what? To make something better, you have to rip it apart. And
sometimes you gotta make a mess to clean a mess.
Yeah, and this is not a mess that our president is having to clean up. This is worse than a mess. This is corruption. And how do you get rid of corruption? Man, you know what? This goes above and beyond messy. It has to be destructive. It has to be, because you have to literally surgically remove a lot of flesh sometimes to get rid of the cancer that's in there. I hate to even use that word because I know there's so many people out there that suffer with that and stuff, but it's a foul and a vulgar thing, cancer. But I do use that because that's exactly the way that I see it with what's going on in our government. Is it's a cancer that has to be cut out of there. And you know what? How many times do we sit back and we say, hey, boy, I wish somebody would do this, or I wish somebody'd do that, and end all this spending and everything. But then somebody comes along and they start doing it, and they don't like it because it don't feel good. And what I mean by that is you got to pay $7 for a gallon of milk, or $4 for a loaf of bread, or how much was eggs today?
The same price it was. I didn't buy any, but they're $5 for a dozen.
$5 for a dozen of eggs. Absolutely crazy. We're in America. You can literally throw an egg outside, and the next thing you know, that thing will be up, keeping your ass up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Quack, 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 everything else, You can have chicken dinners, you can have everything, and you don't even have to feed it. You leave a chicken alone, they'll go, they'll find stuff or whatever. And you don't even have to build a nest. I'm telling you right now, I've found them in old cars before and everything else. They will find some place to leave you a treat. Have you ever had chicken?
Not me personally.
Now, you had rabbits. Mm-hmm. Them things are delicious. I know because...
You ate them?
Well, I grew up with some true bloom, absolute horrible individuals,
I know.
and they wound up feeding me my own pet rabbit.
I know.
But they're delicious. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't mind having some. They're good for you. The true fact here. I always thought this was amazing. Do you know that you can actually starve to death if you just eat rabbit?
Because they're so lean.
Yeah.
They ain't got no fat.
Yeah, no fat, no nothing, Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing. So, yeah, I like rabbit. I like the texture and the taste and everything. Mom, boy, she fix that up like fried chicken or something. Just the... When you want a leg, the leg's kind of shaped differently, but, cut that off and put it on your key ring there or whatever I never understood that. That rabbit died so he can give you good luck. Yeah, buddy.
Not so good luck for the rabbit, though.
Yeah, no, I remember I had a couple of rabbit's feet back in the day when I was going to school. And,
I had them, and I was such a dumb kid. I didn't realize that it came off of an actual rabbit. I thought it was like a stuffed animal. I was like 3 and 4 when I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the toenails should have given it away.
I was 3 or 4. Okay.
When you're fiddling with the rabbit's foot, you kind of like.
I'd never seen a live rabbit at that point. Okay, so I didn't know. I thought, okay, well, this is just a stuffed toy, and it took my mom's son breaking the news, and then I threw the thing at him, and it hit. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so one of the things that kind of struck me as odd is that I kept looking for green rabbits. Never could find them green rabbits, but I had a green rabbit's
What about
foot.
the purple one or the...
Yeah, I know, right? Blue and everything else, Anyway, yeah, we got to have common sense across the board now, and it has to. I'm going to tell you something. Your representative is the most important thing that we need to get right across the board, across America, is we got to get our representatives straightened out and in line here. Because think about this, just like with, all of these corrupt judges that George Soros and all of them put in, it's the same problem that we're having. And I really hope that our president knows. I'm sure he does. I mean, I know he's aware of things that we don't even know about that he's aware of. So just be aware. I'm sure he's aware of it. But is that confusing? No, well, I mean, how many times have you heard me say, wow, I hope our president knows about that. But then find out, after a week or two, it's like, yeah, he knew about it,
Tongue twister there.
Yeah, but on this one here, I'm sure he knows about it, but I really hope that he gets to this more quicker than later, because if you cannot call in to your representative and have your voice out there, no matter what it is that you want to tell them, because if you wanted to send to Congress, if you wanted the president to know that you are extremely unhappy and that you don't care for his ass, then you ought to be able to get that message. If you call in your representative and you tell them what it is, he should first of all know it. But see, here's the problem. This is what I'm working on. We got to have a way of knowing that he got a message. And why do we even have to second guess that or even search to see if our message got through to a representative? I mean, if you can't see what a problem that this is, you're part of the problem. We have to make someone accountable and responsible for putting procedures in place that will show us when we call in. Just like with the vote, Mr. President, just like with the vote. You want to do paper ballots. Why? That way, if there's an issue, that we can see exactly what's going on. This is no different than this right here with trying to talk to a representative. We now know that our message, okay, like I keep saying, there's one or two things happening here. And one is just as bad as the other. Either one, somebody claiming to be a representative is saying, when there's a human answer machine comes and says, hey, the so-and-so, in this case, I'll use me, James Preston, called in, or maybe it's wrote down, okay? Maybe picks up a paper or something like that, and he says, yeah, okay, let's see. It says James Preston called in, and he wants me to, make eggs a lot more affordable. Okay. Now, how do I know, how do we know that Dave Taylor actually did that? How do we know that he actually read anything? Or whoever the representatives are, right? We don't know. Or what about this? What about if I pick this up and it's saying something, and it's from James Preston, and it says, hey, the price of eggs is too high. And, okay, now, I get on the phone there, or whatever I do, or I push the button, and I say, yeah, AJ, come in here. The human answer machine. All right. Now he comes in, and I say, hey, listen, there's this here message here you put on my desk here from the people that I'm working for, like you're supposed to do, but I don't want to mess with this. So here, you take this, AJ, and you respond back to that. Okay, now, does AJ say, do you want me to just do it? I don't care. You do whatever you want to with it, because AJ goes, and not only did he write a letter, but he says that everybody there took a turn at writing the damn thing. All right, now, we still have no way of knowing if any of that took place, right? Because did, in fact, he even get this message? Or could it be a scenario where he says, okay, listen, AJ, you're hired, but here's what I want you to do. If you get any messages, I don't really want to be bothered because, well, I'm going to be out looking for green rabbits. And I just ain't got the time to mess with this. So if you get a message, just blow them off or whatever. Well, what if they want a written response like James Preston wanted or something? I'm not for sure who it is, and I don't really care. Just respond back to them however you want to. I don't really care. Did that happen? We don't know, do we? This is the problem. We've got to know. We got to know. We got to have procedures. We got to have guidelines. We want clarification. Because how can you not understand just how simple this is? Our voice is not being heard, and it's being stifled. That is a major, that's the biggest problem. Because guess what? If our voices ain't being heard or listened to, who's running it? King Trump, right? Well, if it's not by we the people, what's it going to be, right? So, this is a huge, huge issue. If you cannot pick up this phone and call 202-224-3121 and call your representative and know that your voice, your message, your wants, desires, commands are not being heard. If you can't pick it up and know that your message is getting where it's supposed to go, Congress, so that the president, your representative, knows what it is that you're wanting, how's he going to represent? Well, here's the thing. That depends on whoever it is that's supposed to be getting the messages, right? So let's say, because it is President Trump. If he's not getting messages, I mean, what does he go off of? What he thinks is right, right? You know, that's it in a nutshell. That's why we have to get, this straightened out. Because if they hang up on you, try this for yourself. And I'm not talking to the ones out there that I already talked to and that's told me, across the board that's why that you don't call in is because of the aggravation. But you know what? This doesn't need to be an aggravation. Let's all set in on it together and fix it. But see, right now, I'll guarantee you there are people that will say, well, if you can't get a message across, what good or how, because you're telling us to call 202-224-3121, talk to the switchboard, and then get a hold of a so-called representative, well, you're telling us that our message ain't getting through. Well, I'm telling you to do whatever it is that you have to do to get through, because we have to rectify the situation. We've got to fix this because we don't have a voice. And if you're one of them saying that, then you are saying exactly the problem. We don't have a voice. That's the problem. So make a video. If you know somebody or whatever, support them. I appreciate everybody that's here. If you haven't and you would, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe. Don't cost anything. Appreciate all of the subscribers out there, every one of them that's been with me. I appreciate it. Like I said, I know this is, this channel here is not usually about diving off of a cliff with, your hair on fire into a cup of water or something, but stay tuned because I may try to talk Gnome into doing that.
I might do it, maybe.
See there? All we got to do is get up to 1 million subscribers, and Gnome says she'll dive off of a cliff into a cup of water. You heard it here first. Better be a big cup, right?
An awfully big cup with a ton of water in it.
Yeah, don't nobody fool yourself. She wouldn't even get up on the cliff, so
Nope.
no.
Scared of heights. Nope. Not doing it.
All right, so if you would subscribe, deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the prayers and well wishes and comments and stuff. Appreciate it across the board. I'm working on a project right now, and I'm hoping. How close we getting on the Reggie project?
Close.
All right, so we're getting close on the big Reggie Calhoun videos that'll be coming out. Have a crazy, amazing song that I'm working on right now to get out, and I'm not for sure exactly how we're releasing it yet, but stay tuned because that'll be here in the real near future, whatever. Just had so much stuff coming up, and then and you would not believe of how many. It's like if you try to put something on somewhere, whatever, they try to, charge you this and that, and then they don't guarantee that different things. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out.
A lot of work.
It's a lot.
All around.
Yep, yep. Even the editing stuff, all those out there that I watch on YouTube and stuff, and they do all their stuff on their own. It's crazy that you guys do that, because the editing is such. It's fun, isn't it? It's a lot of work, isn't it? Time consuming.
It's not work.
Time
I don't
time
like doing
consuming.
it, but yes, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. So anyway, if you see some of these wonderful names, like what did you name this one here that we just watched? Crazy
Rude,
person or
rude.
rude
Switchboard person.
switchboard person, not operator. Switchboard person, rude switch. We don't care about that. We just need the right information, right? Hey, listen. Stay positive about everything that's going on in the country right now. Don't buy into rumors where everybody's saying that, we're at war with this person or that person, because you don't know until you know, right? And what are they really wanting to do? Do they really want to come at us because we're finally saying we want to be treated fairly now? If that's the case, then I say bring it the hell on, because I'm ready for it. I mean, I've been ready for it for a long time. And that's why that we put our president in there, is because we know that he has enough gumption that, he's going to make it right, and we need to stand, up and make sure that.
We need to get everyone right with the Lord before.
Amen.
It's
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah, if you're right with the Lord, what does it matter anyway? It's like, bring it on,
Everything that's happening is prophesied, so you need to.
Yeah, well, just be ready to go. But ain't nobody wishing for anything to happen. But, I'm just saying, after a while, you just get fed up with being fed up, right? And we had to have change, because look, just a few months ago, what we was under. And now we know. Well, of course, we even knew it back then, didn't we? We knew Biden wasn't running anything. He could run his own finger in his own ear hole.
Biden.
No, it's not Biden at all. No, well, Noam. Okay, here, Noam says it's a.
It's a body double. It's a switch out. That's not Biden. Even Tucker Carlson mentioned that he thought that it could be.
Amy says the same thing.
It's not Biden. The real Biden is dead and gone.
Yep.
I'm sorry. He is. He's dead and gone. This is a switch out. And they did a horrible switch out.
Yeah, look at his earlobes. Look at the old pictures of Biden's earlobes, and then look at and then that one time whenever he was walking, he was like 6'3" or 4 or something like that, and the real one's only what? 2'3" or something? I don't know. Anyway, it reminds me of Gollum off of
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings just enough to see Gollum, who that is. So, the creature that don't know how to talk so good, which is befitting, right? All right. Anyway, listen. Appreciate y'all out there hanging in here. This is kind of a long video, but maybe Noam will edit it just right or whatever, and maybe she'll call this one some kind of video thing with this person. I don't know. All right, listen. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Thanks for praying for us here. We appreciate it, man. We're praying for you guys. Help me make the golden age even more golden. We'll get some clarification and stuff. So call in. Give me a shout. Leave a comment. Tell me where you're from, or where you're working out of, or something. And no matter what you do, just make sure that you do something. because something is way better than nothing. And if you do nothing, we're going to have nothing. You know, that's the trouble that we're in. We got so many people that are not standing up. So anyway, hey, God bless America, you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Peace out.